Hello, let's learn how to create a biosketch in SciENcv. In today's video, we're going to discuss what SciENcv is, the NSF mandate, how to access and log into SciENcv, how to link your SciENcv to other partnering organizations, how to enter and import biography information and citations, how to export a biosketch, and how to add delegates. Science Experts Network Curriculum Vitae, or SciENcv, is an online tool in the MyNCBI platform which allows researchers to create funder-specific biosketches. To make the most use out of SciENcv, it is highly encouraged to link your account to third-party organizations such as ORCID, NSF, ERA Commons, etc. This creates a chain of information that will help you avoid re-entering the same information multitudes of times. Before we dive into SciENcv, let's discuss the new NSF mandate. Proposals submitted or due after June 1st, 2020 must submit biosketches in an NSF-approved format. As of the creation of this video, the only approved formats allowed include biosketches that are generated using SciENcv or an NSF fillable PDF that is found on their website. A link with more information will be provided in the description of this video. Alright, let's move on. There are two general ways to access SciENcv. I will first show you the way that has more clicks, but may be more common. Navigate to ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. In the top right corner, click Sign in to NCBI. You can sign in with an NCBI account, or you can use credentials from a partner organization such as Google, which we don't recommend, NIH, ERA Commons, and although it's not listed, you can also use NSF credentials to sign in. You can register for an NCBI account if you don't have one and if you'd like to sign in that way. If you want to sign in using NSF credentials, click on See More Third-Party Options and search for NSF. Note that if you sign in using another organization's credentials, you're effectively linking your NCBI account to that organization. I will sign in using an NCBI account. Once you're signed in, click My NCBI in the top right. Here you can see the My NCBI dashboard. At the bottom, you can see the SciENcv widget. To enter into SciENcv, you can click here and it will take you to the SciENcv platform. But before I do that, let me show you the alternative way to sign in. If you want to access the SciENcv platform directly, navigate to ncbi.nlm.nih.gov/SciENcv. Click the button that says Click here to start, and it will take you to a sign-in page that looks a little bit different than the one before. I will sign in using NCBI credentials. I am now in the SciENcv platform. I can navigate back to my dashboard and hop back in. Before developing a biosketch, it's important to link to other platforms and to keep an up-to-date list of all your citations in either ORCID and/or NCBI's MyBibliography. The more information you enter into your ORCID account or into MyBibliography, the less you will have to manually enter in your biosketches. To link your account to a partnering organization, click your name in the top right, which will take you to your account settings. Under Linked Accounts, you would see a list of all the accounts you have linked to. Right now, I haven't linked to anything. To link to an account, click Change. Search for the account you desire to link to. In my example, I'm going to link to ORCID. As you can see, I have been redirected to ORCID's sign-in portal. I will sign in to ORCID using my ORCID credentials. In this case, I'm using single sign-on. I will click Authorize to authorize the link. In general, when you link to a third-party organization, you will be prompted to authorize the link by signing in using that organization's credentials. Once you've linked to ORCID, you have now set up your account to pull citations and bibliography information that you will be able to use in your biosketch. To learn how to use ORCID, refer to our wiki and video tutorial, which will both be linked in the description of this video. If you don't want to use ORCID, you have the alternative to use MyBibliography, which is a part of your MyNCBI account. Click on Manage My Bibliography and add citations, either from PubMed, from a file, or manually. Because my bibliography is not the topic of this video, I won't discuss it in detail. At this time, ORCID and my bibliography do not sync. Import a bibtex file that's exported from ORCID into my bibliography to keep the citations across both platforms consistent, but this depends on your workflow. Remember that ORCID and my bibliography can both link to ERA Commons. The last step to take before you begin to develop a Biosketch is to set up your mini profile. As you can see, I've already set up my mini profile. Normally, when you're first creating an account, this will be empty. Click Edit to make changes. The mini profile is a quick way to tell people who you are and will be treated as public information. Note how the mini profile provides a prompt which allows you to link to an ORCID account or an NSF account. Although these options are more straightforward than the method I showed earlier, it is limited to only ORCID and NSF. If you wanted to link to NIH or ERA Commons, for example, you'll have to follow the method I discussed earlier. Another thing to note, when I edited my mini profile for the first time, and although I had already linked my account to ORCID, I still had to add the ORCID ID itself into my mini profile. Since I had already linked, I just simply had to click and my ID populated. But if you hadn't linked your ORCID account like how I showed earlier, clicking Add your ORCID ID to this profile would have prompted you to walk through a similar set of steps akin to the method that I showed earlier. We are now ready to create a Biosketch. To create a Biosketch, select Create New Document. Enter a document name. Select the formatting template. In this case, I'm going to select the NSF Biosketch. Choose your data source. In other words, choose where you'd like to pull information from. You can start with a blank document, start with an existing document, but since this is my first one, I don't have one yet. Or you can create your Biosketch and pull information from an external source. I'm going to pull information from ORCID. Set the visibility of your Biosketch. I will leave mine at private. And click Create. The blue box at the top is information about the document itself and is not visibly a part of the Biosketch document. Under Section A, you can see how my information was pulled from ORCID. This is why it's so important. If I didn't have this information in my ORCID account, I would have to manually enter all of this information. Now, I'm going to explain something that is a little bit tricky. Biographical information that is not citations can only be imported upon the creation of the Biosketch, that is, selecting to import from an external source. If I had created my Biosketch using a blank template, I would not be able to retroactively import biography information that is not citations into my Biosketch. That is why it is important to already have your ORCID linked to SciENcv, and why it is important to create a Biosketch and selecting the option Import Information from External Source from the beginning to have information pulled and automatically filled in. However, the trickiness continues, because although biographical information must be imported when the document is first created, citations can be inputted at any time. As you can see, even though this is currently a blank template, I have the option to import citations, but I don't have the option to import other biographical information. It would have to be entered manually. Note that if I were to enter new citations into ORCID or my bibliography, those changes would reflect in SciENcv and would become options I could then select. I added a citation into ORCID. I will refresh the list. Here you can see a new citation popped up. To save your citations, click Save Citations. Let's go back to the other Biosketch in which I elected to import biographical information from ORCID. The template will also limit the amount of entries you are able to enter based on an organization's content and formatting requirements. For example, the NSF template only allows you to enter 5 synergistic activities. As you can see, I no longer have the option to add additional synergistic activities. You can edit, delete, or move them up and down the list. Once you've completed your Biosketch, you can download a PDF or an XML file by clicking PDF or XML in the blue box at the top of the Biosketch. Alternatively, you also have the option to download a PDF at the very bottom of the Biosketch. Here's the downloaded Biosketch. Obviously, mine looks a little sparse because I didn't fill much in. If you want to make changes to your Biosketch, be sure to do so in SciENcv and re-export a new copy. The exported PDF contains metadata which identifies the PDF as created in SciENcv and includes information which allows organizations such as ERA Commons to automatically pull information from your Biosketch. If you edit the PDF directly, it could break the metadata structure and become less efficient. If you want to delete a Biosketch, click on Edit next to SciENcv Documents, and now the Delete option has popped up. After deleting any Biosketches, be sure to click Done. And that's how you create a Biosketch. The last thing we're going to discuss today is how to add delegates. Delegates are individuals that you invite, which have the ability to access your My Bibliography collection and SciENcv and manage it for you. Click on your name in the top right to go to Account Settings. If you scroll down under Delegates, you can see that you simply have to click Add a Delegate and enter their email. A delegate will receive an email notification and they must click the link to activate their access. If they don't have an NCBI account, they will be invited to register. You can grant a delegate a permission to access your My Bibliography collection and/or SciENcv. Delegates have the ability to add or delete items from your My Bibliography collection and/or SciENcv. Delegates do not have the ability to access your account settings. You may remove a delegate at any time under the same settings. Right now I don't have any delegates, but this is the place where you would manage that access. For more information, be sure to check out our wiki page at wiki.utdallas.edu. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Thanks so much for watching.